Hey everyone, look where I'm at. Whoosh. Good old Penn State. Thought I might actually take you guys to the stacks of the library since I wasn't able to do that last time. Yeah, I got a really weird haircut. I said, I want to try something different. She goes, oh, and it's this Russian chick, and she's like, something more modern? And I'm like, sure, okay. And then she's like, I forgot what she called, underlining. I'm like, okay, sure, that sounds great. And then she just goes, I'm like, oh my. And then she's like, you want line? It's very modern. I'm like, you know what, F it. I already committed to this haircut. And so I got a little line right there. And yeah, so I feel really weird, but everyone keeps looking at me and they're like smiling. I'm like, I don't know, either they're laughing at me, laughing at my haircut, or they're like, he looks quite nice. So, yeah. And it's freezing balls here. Yeah, it's different. Oh, thank you. I was like, I kind of decided I was going to come on here and see if you guys were going to be like, no. But, this is Old Maine. Here I am. East Coast traveling, man. So, what's up, Philip? Thank you, Wendy. I don't know if it'll go very well with the director's coat, but, you know. So yeah, I'll walk over to the stacks and share a little ghost story and chat with you guys a little bit. I have some time to kill. I'm here packing up. And Melinda, shout out, yay. So, FYI, Penn State's number 2 in the country. Penn State, Penn State, Penn State. So, yes, you were here. If you were here for homecoming, you were here. Happy birthday, Laura. Hey, Brett. So, I won't go into details about Old Maine because, you know, obviously you guys have already heard that, but, let's see here. How we'll get our way. So, when I was doing the ghost tour last month, we weren't able to go into the library because it was shut, it was closed. And, but I'll take you guys into the stacks and, share a little ghosty story about that. But excited for Iowa. I'm stressed out right now about packing and, life things. So, thank you, Adriana. Oh, Stephanie, your son should go to Penn State. Actually, I went 15 hours without a cigarette. Then I caved. So, but, yeah, this is, I remember when we did Paranormal State, we got to go up to the tower. I love that part. That was really cool. Ooh, it is chilly here today. You know, I was, you know, toying with the idea of getting another tattoo while I was here, but don't know if I'll have time. But, well, Joey, it's not like I'm Tom Cruise or anything, but when I get into town, I tend to get people who look at me and they're just like, oh, it's Ryan, you know, and they don't like, this town knows me, and my shenanigans that happened in the past year. I actually have to go to pick up my passport. But yeah, so like season 1, we, oh really, Keith? That's cool. Twins. We can fulfill someone's fantasy and pretend like we're twins. Don't quit smoking in early recovery. Yeah, that's kind of been my thing, but my teeth are starting to hurt. You know, and packing is going. I have to do that all day today, and then you know, get on the road and take it all down, and yeah, and then enjoy Halloween. I don't know, maybe go to Florida. My buddy VJ and his girlfriend, I guess maybe fiance, move into Florida, and you know, they're right near Universal Studios, and I really want to go. So, but yeah, it is really cold. Like, I was like, oh, I could brave this, but as I'm standing outside, I'm like, Sensodyne toothpaste. Okay. Ella, are you heading to class? That's very cool. Hair on point, yeah. So she like goes, I'm gonna give you a line, and I just closed my eyes, and I was like, okay, it's not so bad, but it was a little scary at first. I was looking in the mirror, and I was like, oh my god. I believe they are, yeah. I do e-cig, but for those of you who may not know, I celebrate my 6th month of recovery, and you know, the place where I get my haircut here, it was funny, I don't think I've sat down to get a haircut from this woman in a year, but she, you know, knew me, and she was like, oh, how's the book going? And I'm like, oh, you know, she's like, how's life? I'm like, well, it's interesting. And she's like, you know, come back in a few weeks. And I said, well, I'm not going to be here in a few weeks, but, you know, it's cool when I walk around here, you know, just now that I'm myself again, you know, how people kind of recognize and say hi, are friendly. But thank you, Timothy. But I will mosey over to the stacks and you know, get a little tour of it in a second. So thank you, Jessica. Wow, a lot of people liking the hair. This is actually my first time looking at it. That's part of the reason why I was like, all right, let me take a look. I was like, all right, but no, I'm in State College, Pennsylvania right now, Cox. And yeah, I was maybe gonna go horseback riding, you know, with an old friend here, but I don't know if I'll have time for that. So I didn't drive up here because I'm taking a U-Haul down, but you know, this town it's not that hard to get around in this town, but you know, I don't know, I'm not here for that long, so, but I decided to go on campus real quick, and yeah, thank you, Taylor. But you know, I got some really interesting messages from some people. I had a woman write to me, and she said, I just lost my stepbrother today due to his addiction. And this woman, despite losing her stepbrother, decided to take time out of her life, or her day. She lost stepbrother that morning, and she was writing to me in the evening to give me some words of encouragement. And I wish I could have given her some back in return, you know, but you know, it's hard, you know, and now that I'm starting to work with people who are in active addiction, it hits home when I hear about relapses and things like that. The worst part is hearing from families, from individuals who from families of those who are suffering from addiction, because you know, it just kind of, for me, kind of brings out, you know, the realization of what I put my family and friends through. My buddy Topher, who some of you guys have met, he told me about a dream he had. I won't go into the details of the dream, but like, he just about was just a really bad dream about me like relapsing. And he kind of laughed it off, but he said he was like, I was so angry at you in the dream and so upset. And I remember I just sat there and went, man, this is kind of like what I put my family and friends through, as they were worrying about me, wondering where I was, what was I doing. And my mom has had dreams on occasion. That's just a really bad side that I haven't really experienced yet, is, the worrying, staying up. I mean, he told me that, like, sometimes mom would be like, where's Ryan? And when they heard from me or saw me post on Facebook, they were like, okay, so he's still alive. And that's such a sad and terrible thing that I had to put my mom through, And disease, it's cunning, baffling, powerful. So, thank you, Kevin. It's weird, it's different. I just sat down and I said, I want something a little different, and she just went to town on it. Yeah, Kathy, worked a world of horror with your addiction. It's, I was on the train yesterday and I was going, people think that I'm not scared of things, from my casework. And, I do a lot of thinking, and I do a lot of sitting and listening. And when I do these live chats, I go, sometimes I feel like I need to I'm going to actually take a break from just being online next week, because it's the only week I'm going to be able to have down until Christmas. And, it was kind of advised for me to take some one-on-one time. And I just went, what do I have to share right now? And what because this world can seem very dark at times. And, everywhere I turn now, I hear about people struggling with addiction. Even in my family's circle of friends, they're coming out more and talking to even my mom about it, looking for advice and help. And, it was like 6.5 months ago, I was spiraling. You guys know the story, most of you guys anyways. And, you would never think that somewhere out here, like in Happy Valley, there would be, a drug problem, but there very much is here in State College, and as well as anywhere else. And when it hooks you very, very good. And it's not like you just go, oh, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of this. The way it enters your life is usually at a weak point. When you're at a weak point and a vulnerable point, it's very much similar to like the stages of possession. I find it very, very just shocking as I sit and I think about my work in paranormal cases, and then I look at, addiction, how similar it is, and how you can replace the word addiction with like possession or oppression, and you can kind of be talking about the same thing. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to push anything on anybody, but you can look at it as a very interesting metaphor. And but I try to do my best in offering advice for anyone who's in recovery or trying to get into recovery. Thank you, Ryan. Nice name, by the way. We plan to try to open up a bit more about that in the future. As we're expanding and we're starting to let more people into PRS, everyone who we are choosing to come into that inner circle now, they have to have an understanding, of how sensitive things are and how carefully we have to tread, because, I'm still in the first year of recovery. So like, I've been very blessed and touched that I've been getting more, speaking engagement requests. And I had to stop and I had to go, okay, I have to really evaluate and make sure that I'm okay. And I'm trying to figure out, like, what are those next steps for me? And at times I go, like, trying to find enthusiasm for things can be hard because, you know, I have good days, I have bad days, just like all of you guys. But, you know, there's still just, still trying to, you know, get as much distance from my old life to now as I can. And I feel like I'm in a race right now. Like, I'm just trying to, I don't feel like I can rest just yet. You know, even if I'm not doing much in the day, in my mind, I'm just all over the place. Going like, I need to take care of this, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then maybe I'll be okay. But I'm looking at those next few steps, and I'm like, okay, I don't know when it'll be when I will finally be able to go, all right, I did it. Something I'm struggling to try to do. So, do you think the whole thing was a coincidence that you got addicted? Asks Tracy. I don't know. I don't know your story, Tracy. Tony, I hope I don't have any demons following me. But you never know. Carrie, 9 years sober. That's very cool. Yeah, I can tell you that I've noticed a change in my thought process, but the thing I don't like the most are my flashbacks that I have. I get flashbacks still on a regular basis, and I have to get out of my head of, you know, just memories from the past or me thinking about things, and you know, just you know, stressing out. I asked Robbie, like, when do the flashbacks go away, you know, and he said, well, I don't really know if I want them to go away. It reminds me of the pain of what I went through in life. And I was like, yeah, you know, but I kind of want certain things to just not be in my head anymore. So, you know, it's just painful memories of the past, and they're all over the place, but they're good ones too. I mean, I love Penn. Some people are just astounded at how I have a love for Penn State. Oddly enough, they're like, you know, after the past couple years. But see, like that, I brought that with me, and you know, but this has been my home since 2001. You know, but right now it's not best for me to be here too long. And reconnecting with my family. I mean, the holidays are coming up. This is the first time I'll be with my family for the holidays in quite a few years. Do I have dreams about using still? Yes, I do. Not as much as I thought I would, and I don't feel temptation to use as much as I thought I would, which worries me, but I think it's like putting your hand on the stove. I think, like, this time around, I lit my entire hand on fire, and I think that I'm not really romanticizing or thinking about it in that state. But you know, it's very easy to get down on yourself or feel guilt or just be consumed with guilt. And you know, they teach us not to find yourself stuck in morbid reflection. So. No, I'm single. I don't know where people ask me if I'm married or I'm with so-and-so. No, I'm single. So, taking something slow, but, you know. Yeah, you know, if you have questions, I will always be happy to answer them. Or share a part of my story. A lot of time, what I would love to do, Robbie, my sponsor, was like, you know, we do, you know, everyone's putting out there about how bad addiction is, but how do we get people to stop? So I don't know. That's a hard one. That's the $10 billion question. I think if anyone can solve that riddle, they'd win a Nobel Peace Prize. So, cold. So, it is like 40 degrees right now. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing right now that I'll share is I kind of keep my emotions turned off right now because I don't know, maybe it's not something I'm ready to process yet, but, you know, it's not like it's a huge secret to tell you guys that, I went through a lot of pain in the past few years, you know, and that's something that, maybe I'll talk about one day. I was reading someone's comment as I'm walking. My God, my hands are like icicles. And here I am getting all excited for Iowa when it's going to be like 20 degrees. Oh, look where I'm at near Schwab. Now, this was PRS's first official first official public investigation. It was February 2002. Let's see if I can sneak in here. We did an investigation. Schwab. It was like myself and like 12 other investigators. We were so excited. Oh, it's probably locked again. Hold on. Yeah, it's locked. I'm sure if I like asked them in advance, they would maybe let me in, but to just show up. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this is just my opinion, guys, but Suboxone and things like that, the opiate addiction is a bad one. And their belief is that, lesser of two evils. To stick with something that you can't overdose on, but when I was using, I had people introduce me to the power of abusing Suboxone. So, I don't know. A lot of people are telling me that they see me speaking all over the country about addiction, and I don't really feel like that's my forte, but I am doing some radio program in Philly. I got an invitation to share my story, and I'm like, okay. And then I did that one interview for the magazine. That was cool. Oh, God. As I'm walking up to the library, there's all these pictures of abortion, and they're gross, and I can't look. Here, I'll let you guys look. Yeah. Oh God, I can't. Ew. I'm about to. Okay. Let's not look. Oh God, I just looked at another one. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, you're on a college campus. Oh, okay. I almost looked at the next one. Let's just keep my eyes up. Okay. I don't understand. I thought abortion was legal. But I don't want to appear disrespectful. Okay, we're going to go into the library. So I take you guys to the stacks. Complete part of the ghost tour from a month ago. Alright. Okay. I feel like I'm going on a submarine here. So, 1969. Let's see. Pardsman. since that's there. So on November 28th, 1969, Betsy Hardsman was found right here. That's where they found her. She was still alive, but was dying. She'd been stabbed, but they hadn't yet recognized. They had yet seen her wound, and they found books toppled over her. And so the paramedics came. They took her to the hospital, and that's where they discovered that she had actually been stabbed and died not shortly thereafter. To this day, her murder is unsolved technically, and but we did an investigation kind of loosely here, but it's kind of hard, as you can tell, and we got permission to come to the stacks to do an investigation, but we would have to submit the report privately, and we didn't feel like that was fair since we were doing it for the interest of the student body. But people to this day still have experiences here in the library, big time. And yeah. So people, this library is a maze, and you can be an entire section all by yourself and not see anyone for like an hour. And mainly women will be just looking at books, perusing the stacks, and then they'll feel someone grab them from behind, and they turn around, there's nobody there. And we would get, up until like 2012, we were getting emails about it regularly. And you talk to any of the staffers here in the library, and they will affirm these stories, that they hear them all the time, that they have experienced it themselves. They see like a black shadowy mass kind of come through the walls in the library, but in the stacks in quiet areas. No one's had any paranormal experiences like here in the common areas. Not usually. So, excuse me. But it happened over Thanksgiving break when she was stabbed. And then they just kind of, it took some time to put the pieces together. But people who go into this library and just hang out in the stacks, they've had experiences. I've known many people who aren't interested in the paranormal per se, but who've had experiences here, in the library. A little fun fact for you guys, the archive section on the Paterno section of the library actually has some of the Penn State Paranormal Research Society files. We are in the archive section to be preserved, since we had an association with Penn State. We were actually going to donate some more materials to the library for, future researchers. So, yeah. But anyways, so I'm trying not to talk about ghost stories while there's a protest going on next to me about a serious subject. But, yeah, back to the cold. Well, I might have to move. So, I respect people's rights. Okay, maybe they're done. But anyways, so yeah, the stacks. So that occurred in November 28, 1969, and was it 1968? I think it's, no, November 28, 1969. I shared that already. And where else? I do have, so part of the reason why I'm laying off the smoking a little bit is because of, okay. These kids need to be going to class is what they need to be doing. Okay. Alright. So, the monthly abortion protest is going on. And, oh, I just looked at another picture. Okay. Okay, so anyways. No, I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to, like, you know, make them, or have them think I'm making fun of them or anything, which I'm not. So. Okay. Alright, moved over a bit. So anyways, I'm gonna go prepare for some moving and everything else, and I gotta do some errands here in State College, but happy to do a nice live chat here in State College, Happy Valley, love it. And PRS Melvern Manor, Iowa, guys, I'm excited. It's as of today 5 weeks away. Well, for me, because we're flying out on Wednesday. But as of tomorrow, very true, Keith. That is something that I'm trying to learn. I just finally processed the one day at a time thing, and I did think about that. I was only trying to race through the days. I'm like, you know, but I do truly enjoy them. It's just usually when I'm traveling, obviously quite frequently now, and whenever I'm about to start traveling, I'm always like, oh my God, how am I gonna get through this? The world's gonna end. But then, you know, I get through it and everything's good. And, you know, it's a fun time. It is. It's, but not every day is a high, you know, every day. You know, some days are going to be more stressful than the others. I'm not telling you guys anything new, but oddly enough, I had to relearn these things. And, yeah, so prsmelvernmanor.org, guys. It's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. And there's day passes if you are in the area and just want to do the, you know, like a day hangout with us on December 2nd in Melvern, Iowa. It's east of Omaha. And like the Bob Seger song. And, you know, like we do a meet and greet and then a haunted tour of the place, or you can do a 2-night investigation with us, Friday through Sunday, and it's $350 for the whole weekend, and technically you can stay in the manor the entire time too, if you don't want to do a hotel, but we still have some of those left, and we're starting the webinar next week, actually a week from today. So if those of you who are going or want to do the webinar, I think we need everyone to sign up by Friday. So get yourself in there, and I'm excited. We're going to be broadcasting parts of the investigation on the PRS Bureau. So, alright guys, and much love to you all. Great chatting with you guys. Thank you for keeping me company for a little bit, and yeah, talk soon. Thank you, and thank you for all the messages you guys are sending me and the encouragement, and I try to get back to as many as possible. And yeah, talk soon.